Have you ever noticed that saving money as a family feels completely different than saving money alone? Advice that sounds reasonable in theory often collapses the moment real life shows up. It's easy to say just spend less when you're only responsible for yourself. It's very different when you're balancing work schedules, school drop-offs, sports practices, sick days, social expectations, and everyone's emotional bandwidth. When you live alone, financial discipline can be largely internal. You control the inputs, the habits, the consequences, but within a family, money interacts with personalities, moods, and competing needs. One person's convenience might be another person's frustration. One person's sacrifice might ripple across the household. Saving becomes less about individual restraint and more about collective coordination. In a family, money isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's convenience on a night when everyone's exhausted. It's a quick solution to avoid conflict. It's a small reward after a hard week. It's the tool that keeps things moving when time is tight. It becomes woven into emotional regulation, stress relief, and logistics. When you try to remove spending without replacing the function it serves, the system pushes back. Fatigue rises, friction increases. People feel deprived or unheard. The result is rarely long-term discipline. It's usually burnout followed by rebound spending. That's why saving your first $10,000 as a family doesn't start with restriction. It starts with redesign. The goal isn't to squeeze harder or say no to everything. The goal is to make spending less necessary in the first place. To build rhythms, routines, and expectations that reduce reliance on money as a coping mechanism. We didn't reach 5 figures in savings because we suddenly became ultra-disciplined or dramatically frugal. We reached it because we identified where money was quietly stabilizing stress and built better systems around those pressure points. Once spending stopped acting as a daily emergency fix, saving became natural. The first shift was creating clarity without obsession. Most families attempt detailed budgets and abandon them because they're too complicated to maintain. Tracking dozens of categories demands energy people don't consistently have. Complexity often defeats consistency. Instead of tracking 50 categories, we simplified everything into 3 groups: fixed essentials, flexible essentials, and emotional spending. Fixed essentials are predictable: housing, utilities, insurance, minimum debt payments, transportation. These rarely fluctuate dramatically and give you a baseline understanding of survival costs. Flexible essentials include groceries, gas, school supplies, and household basics. These require management, but still serve functional purposes. They're adjustable without being optional. Emotional spending is where most unpredictability lives. Takeout during chaos, impulse online purchases, subscriptions we barely use, convenience upgrades, random outings meant to reset the mood. We didn't judge these categories, we studied them. Every expense is solving something. The question is what? Once we understood the underlying problems being solved, we could address those problems directly instead of repeatedly paying for temporary fixes. The second shift was understanding that families overspend during chaotic weeks, not calm ones. When schedules tighten and everyone is tired, decision quality drops. Mental bandwidth shrinks. Convenience wins. So we moved important decisions into calm moments. Once a week, we spend 20 minutes planning the upcoming week. Not a complicated meeting, not spreadsheets or lectures. Just a short conversation grounded in realism. Where will we feel rushed? Which days are heavy? When are we most likely to default to convenience spending? If Tuesday has late practices and meetings, dinner becomes a simple repeat meal. If Saturday is wide open, we plan one low-cost activity in advance so boredom doesn't turn into spending. If a stressful appointment is coming, we schedule recovery time afterward. Anticipating friction reduces the need to pay to escape it. And over time, this habit reshapes how the family experiences stress with preparation instead of reaction. The third shift was restructuring food as a family system, not a daily debate. Food spending is emotional because it intersects with energy, mood, and time. When dinner decisions happen at the point of exhaustion, spending often follows. Instead of promising to cook elaborate meals, we reduced variety and increased predictability. We removed performance expectations and replaced them with reliability. We created a rotation of meals everyone already enjoys. No constant experimentation. No complicated recipes during busy seasons. Ingredients overlap. One protein becomes multiple dinners. Leftovers are planned, not accidental. Breakfasts and lunches are standardized enough to remove daily negotiation. Not rigid, just predictable. Predictability reduces decision fatigue, which in turn reduces spending triggers. The power isn't in cooking perfectly. It's in eliminating decisions when everyone is tired. When dinner is pre-decided, arguments decrease. Stress drops. The drive-thru loses its appeal because the solution is already waiting. We also built backup meals that require almost no effort. Frozen prepped options, pantry staples, ultra simple combinations. These aren't gourmet. They're insurance policies against expensive nights. Their purpose isn't excitement, it's resilience. The fourth shift was making the $10,000 visible and meaningful. Abstract goals don't motivate families. Tangible ones do. We wrote the number down. We tracked progress where everyone could see it. We talked about what it represents: stability, options, calm responses to emergencies, freedom from panic. We linked it to real-world scenarios people could imagine. For kids, we framed it as a team goal. We're building something together, not because we're deprived, not because we're lacking, but because we value security. When children understand the why, resistance decreases and participation increases. The fifth shift was introducing gentle friction around impulse spending. In a household, spending triggers multiply multiple devices, multiple personalities, multiple weak moments. So we created one simple rule. If it's not planned and not essential, it waits 48 hours. No dramatic debate, just a pause. Most impulses disappear. The ones that remain tend to matter more. We also removed saved credit card information from shopping sites. That extra 30 seconds creates space for reflection. Convenience speeds up emotion. Slowing down protects money. The sixth shift was breaking $10,000 into milestones. Trying to leap straight to 5 figures feels overwhelming. So we focused on the first $500, then $1,000, then one full month of essential expenses. Each milestone builds belief. Each success reshapes identity. Momentum matters. When families see savings grow, behavior changes naturally. Spending feels different when it subtracts from something tangible. The seventh shift was aligning lifestyle with season, not comparison. Social comparison is expensive. Matching perceived norms leads families into commitments that don't align with their priorities. Some seasons are growth seasons. During those, we simplify. Fewer commitments, fewer upgrades, more home-based routines. Interestingly, simplifying often reduces stress across the household, proving that spending wasn't the source of satisfaction after all. The eighth shift was planning for irregular expenses before they arrive. Holidays, birthdays, car maintenance, school fees, medical co-pays. These feel like surprises, but they're predictable patterns. We created small sinking funds for each category. A little set aside monthly prevents large withdrawals later. This preserves savings and eliminates the discouragement of repeated setbacks. The ninth shift was directing extra income intentionally. Tax refunds, bonuses, side work, or selling unused items accelerated progress. But we made a rule: windfalls go to the goal before lifestyle expands. Lifestyle inflation is subtle. Without rules, extra income disappears quietly. With structure, it compounds momentum and reinforces identity. The 10th shift was protecting energy. Exhaustion fuels spending more than desire. When everyone is depleted, patience drops and convenience purchases rise. So we prioritize sleep, simplified schedules, protected downtime, reduced unnecessary commitments, created tech-free evenings. When the household feels regulated, spending urges decline naturally because emotional needs are being met in healthier ways. The 11th shift was automating savings before choice enters the picture. A set amount transfers automatically when income arrives. No debate, no hesitation. Automation removes emotion from the equation. F savings depends on what's left over. There will rarely be leftovers. Paying yourself first rewires the flow of money. The 12th shift was normalizing conversations about money. Not stressfully, transparently. We discuss trade-offs openly. If we choose this, we delay that. Not as punishment, but prioritization. Over time, something subtle changes. The household becomes calmer. Fewer financial surprises, fewer reactive purchases, more intention. Saving stops feeling like sacrifice and starts feeling like stability. Your first $10,000 isn't just a number. It's a buffer between you and panic. It's the ability to handle disruption without spiraling. It's space to think clearly under pressure. It's proof that alignment is possible. And perhaps most importantly, it builds identity. You stop seeing yourselves as trying to save. You start seeing yourselves as a family that saves. That identity shift is powerful because behavior follows identity more reliably than rules ever could. If you want to save your first $10,000 as a family, stop asking what to eliminate. Start asking where money is covering stress. Where are you paying for speed, relief, convenience, avoidance? Then design replacements that cost less but solve the same problem. Plan meals before hunger. Plan fun before boredom. Plan rest before burnout. Plan expenses before they surprise you. Automate savings before you debate it. Build systems for your hardest days, not your most motivated ones. The path to $10,000 won't be one dramatic cut. It will be dozens of small decisions that used to be automatic and are now intentional. Small choices repeated consistently reshape financial outcomes more reliably than bursts of intensity. A pre-planned dinner instead of takeout. A scheduled family night instead of an impulse outing. A delayed purchase instead of instant checkout. A transfer to savings before spending begins. Each decision feels small. Together, they change your financial trajectory. And with each step, confidence replaces hesitation and clarity replaces chaos. Once you reach that first $10,000, something shifts. Fear decreases. Confidence increases. Arguments soften. The future feels less fragile. You realize saving wasn't about deprivation. It was about building a household that doesn't need money to solve every stressful moment. That's when progress stops feeling temporary and starts feeling permanent. And that's how families move from surviving month to month to building real security, me-intentional decision, one thoughtful system, and one aligned conversation at a time.